The Mount Moon Review podcast, while a podcast about Pokemon, is not intended for children. You can expect some instances of adult humor, coarse language, and adult situations. Parental discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 33 of the Mount Moon Review podcast, the only podcast that consistently only uses its item cards once before discarding them. And I am your host, the Razgrees, with my co-host, the Blue Duck Gold Duck, bringing you all the information from this past week in the world of Pokemon in about an hour. Duck, how the heck you been?
Really good. This is a good week. Played lots of fun games. Watched some pretty good matches in the International Championship.
The Oceania International Championships. I didn't get to watch as much of it as I'd like, and I did not get to see the match in question live, but I did get to watch it in replay, and I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about with that tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's all you have to say is yeah. I mean, seriously,
Well,
I mean, come on, you have a little dynamic here. I mean, this was a really shocking thing that happened.
it really was. It's kind of like that thing where they're like, never meet your heroes because they'll let you down.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you.
See, that's what I said.
I'll tell you this. Most people that follow me in any capacity know this. I used to be involved in the world of professional wrestling, and there was the opportunity to meet a lot of people that I grew up watching on WWE, WWF, what have you. And most of them that I met, genuinely cool people. Some of them I was like really looking forward to meeting. Jerks, complete a-holes. And I'll say this publicly. If I ever get the opportunity, I will punch the boogeyman right in his mouth. That's a podcast for another time, though. um, I'll tell you what, though, I don't want to screw with your format too much because you take a lot of time each and every week when you're writing the outlines for the show and the way that you would like to see it. This is your vision, Duck. Start us out. Where are we going first?
All right. So first thing I put, priority above all else, is talking about the Oceania International Championship.
So, in as much painful description as possible, give us a rundown of what happened as you see it.
So the biggest event, the biggest thing that is on everybody's mind is Tord Reklev.
Received
You
deceived a penalty in the form
Yeah.
of a game loss.
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to be
If you
really
don't know,
careful how I word things.
if you don't know who Tord is, he is a foreign player who was the king of international championships. He won every the first four international championships in a row. He won all of them. He's never won worlds, but if you're asking me who's the best player in the world, Tord Reklev is going to be arguably probably near the top or the top.
Yeah, international championships are known pretty much in the world of Pokemon as the day that Tord Redcliffe makes his quarterly salary. So, because typically, if he doesn't win, he is at least in the top eight
His
consistently.
name is always there, and he was in the top 8 at Worlds as well, I believe,
Yeah,
this year.
he always is. And it's just a reality. Whenever you look at the top list, you're gonna see Tord's name, and he is one of the most exciting players to watch, really. And in the world when you actually watch someone play, a lot of times it's a big pain in the butt, especially as a judge, because you'll always see players that will, and they're going as fast as possible, rapid fire, rapid fire, rapid fire. Tord is a very slow and methodical player.
No, that is 100% true. I've heard people accusing Tord of stalling, while he plays because
Yeah.
he's slower than the really quick players.
He is, and if you actually go by the like the 100% legit rule, if you were actually sit there with a stopwatch, yeah, he goes a couple seconds over here and there. But I think that is very much just a judgment call, and he's not doing it to slow play. As a judge, the way he plays would never be considered slow play in my opinion. He's just a methodical player.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But there's plenty of YouTube videos out there where people are just accusing Tord of always being a slow play. It's not. He's not. And typically if you watch his matches on stream, they usually get through all 3 matches just fine. It doesn't come down to he's winning by time or anything like that. So let's
Even when he's playing a stall deck, like he's pretty much the king of disruption, and even those matches don't go over in time.
Yeah, which is kind of why I like copying his decks. 'Cause that's kind of the way I play too. Newsflash,
That's
folks.
not the way I play.
Yeah, you're a smack him in the face. I'm a let's go in the back door. My objective is never to win, but is to keep the other guy from winning. But regardless, in this particular scenario, we had Tord. I believe he was on the bubble at number 8. In the top 8, and
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure what seed he was in.
but nevertheless, there was quite a bit of controversy around that. And if you're watching the video version of the podcast, we're going to show the video, but we're not going to sit here and just watch it silently and go by play by play. So let's just keep talking, Doug. Okay. So he was playing his Mew Mew deck. Now his person he was playing against is really important. Zach Lesage. I hope that's the Lesage. Lesage. Yeah. He didn't notice what happened. Neither did the judge. This didn't happen. The judgment call wasn't immediate. I don't know this for certain, but I know the call was made later. And
it was made in game 3.
It was made in game 3.
It was made after game 2 before they started game 3.
Yeah, and typically what ends up happening is stream will blow up on Twitch of everybody calling it out, and somebody actually clipped it, which is where the video we're showing on our live stream now. So what ends up happening is Tord plays a quick ball, which I don't have the text in front of me to read it verbatim.
Discard a card from your hand, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, and put that Pokemon in your hand.
Right. So Tord plays the quick ball, and then searches his deck, finds his Pokemon, and in this case, he sets it down on top of the quick ball. After a quick deck search, he then picks up the Pokemon and the quick ball, puts them in his hand, and plays the quick ball again shortly thereafter. So I've watched this now probably 8-10 times. I have a real hard time as methodical as Tord is, and this is the kind of guy that his deck searches are typically once he's done one, he knows exactly what cards he has. I have a real hard time thinking this was accidental.
Yeah, so I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I had one of our viewers that I talk to on a regular basis, messaged me and was like, well, maybe he thought he got the quick ball off a Jirachi or something, because his active Pokemon at the time was a Jirachi, Stellar Wish. So maybe he thought he put the quick ball down and then put the Mewtwo down off the search of a different quick ball and put them both in his hand. But I went back and watched the Jirachi. The Stellar Wish was the first action he made, and that's how he got the Giant Hearth he put into play at the beginning of the turn. And since then, he had done so many actions after the Stellar Wish. I don't think that he.
No,
I don't think.
And Tord does. He does something that I encourage people to do, and that is manipulate the cards in some way that means something to you to acknowledge the fact that you've already used the ability. Tord turns his card sideways after he uses an ability. And Tord's not known as a person who would ever be the one to cheat. He doesn't need to. The man is that good. But this is such a stupid mistake to make.
Yeah. And then when I think about another thing that looks worse in his like in the cheating side of it, is his opponent had a Charizard or Charizard Reshiram on the other side of the field with 5 energy on it. That means 1 more energy, and it can do 300 damage, and he only has 1 Mewtwo. Really, the only option he had in that scenario was to try to use Latios's GX attack, Clear Vision GX, which stops your opponent from using their GX attacks. And that's what he searched for the second time he played the Quick Ball.
Yeah.
So I think he...
See,
I don't know. I don't...
see, the first time I watched it, I thought, okay, that was a mistake. It's just... the more and more I watch it, I'm like, bro, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Look, there it goes. Oh!
He said it was insignificant, but he also played Dedenne after he got the Latios, which meant if he had a way to retreat the Jirachi, the Latios, searching for the Latios was not insignificant.
Yeah. So what he did is he put out a message on Twitter after the event, and this is a quote from Tord. His English is great, but it's not perfect, and mine's almost as bad. I saw the replay. Game 1, I picked up a quick ball up to my hand and played it again. Judges told me it was clearly no intent since the card I picked up was irrelevant. But I can't believe I did that. I'm so insanely sorry, everyone. It really wasn't irrelevant. That was the thing.
It was irrelevant because he didn't draw an escape board or a switch.
Yeah, if he had, that would have been very relevant.
I don't think there were escape boards on his list, so he would have been looking for a switch or something.
Yeah.
That's the...
So, I still would love to believe the fact that he didn't do that intentionally. I really would. Because
right.
He's also a very wholesome person by all accounts from interactions other people have had and other accounts. But if this was a mistake, it was such a stupid one.
Yeah, I mean, so error is human. And Tord is in fact human, despite what some people might believe. But
I would love to take him to Vegas. I'll be perfectly honest with you, because the man has that ability with cards. I would love to take him to Vegas, and I'd love to win some money with him. But that whole thing that happened. I'm glad he put something out and acknowledged that it happened.
But even the way he worded that apology, like, I didn't think about it until you read it out loud. He's like, they said it was clearly no intent because it was irrelevant. Like, they said, not that I didn't intend. They said it was no intent. Now that could just be his English, but to me it sounds fishy.
I think it might be partly his English, because being dyslexic, I had a really hard time reading that because I was trying to put it in the right order, and it just bugged me. I have a real hard time with broken English in writing. But regardless, he did receive a game loss, and I believe the guy that was seeded 9 ended up taking his place.
No. That's different.
Okay, go on. Correct me. I guess I was reading your notes. Go on.
Are you talking about Tord or the other one?
Tord. Oh, there was another one?
Yeah. So there was two big things.
All right,
so
go on to the next.
Tord just lost in the top 8. That's what happened to him. He lost. He was given a game loss, which counted for game 3, because he did lose game 1. He won game 2 before they started game 3. He received a game loss, which made him lose the entire match.
Right. So
there's a lot of controversy over that. They think because he lost game 1, he shouldn't even get a punishment. But I disagree. There's not.
No,
you need to get punished.
That's 100% the right call. 100%.
Yeah. I do agree. A lot of people think it's bullcrap.
That's a gameplay major at a top event. So yeah, that's 100% the correct call. Now, if they had believed that it was,
intentional.
This is the thing where he says that the judges said it was unintentional. If the judges had believed that was an intentional act, he wouldn't have received a game loss. He would have been disqualified.
He probably would have been disqualified and then had a further punishment.
Yeah.
Like later on, like he can't play in certain, for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and typically those are a year, I believe. What typically happens, not like it's in writing, but that's typically what happens. And I mean, there's politics to go into that decision, but if what he's saying is the judges felt it was an irrelevant because it was unintentional, if they had believed it to be intentional, I have to believe they would have disqualified him. So the judges on hand, that there has to be some credence into what he's saying, because if the judges on hand had believed it was intentional, that would have been disqualification, even though it's one of the superstars of Pokemon.
Right.
I think the judges that are selected for those top tier events would have a real hard time not making that call. So that's it for Tord. We've covered that. So there was another item of controversy that pops up at Oceania.
Yes, a player by the name of James Cox, which is apparently a new player. He doesn't seem to have any top places. I looked his name up a little while ago, and he's not, mentioned anywhere. I guess before the tournament, he submitted a joke deck list, and then forgot to change it before the tournament started. Plays through the whole tournament without getting a deck check, and then gets deck checked for top 8. And he, after making top 8, makes top 8.
Holy crap!
And then I don't. So I was reading the Twitter comments just to get the community's feel on these rulings. Like, I could see that some people disliked Tord's ruling, some people agreed with it. A lot of people really, really disagree with this one. I don't know if this is the list he actually submitted, but somebody said Zigzagoon and 69 or 59 Fairy Energy was his list.
I mean, the Zigzagoon memes are real, brother. I mean, the Zigzagoon memes are everywhere before that. So I can see somebody submitting as a... Why would you even bother submitting a meme? I mean, why? Why would you do that?
Oh, no. I don't know.
Why would you do that? But, yeah, so he got deck checked in the top 8. Because everybody gets deck checked in the top 8.
And yeah, he's like, "Oh, that was a joke," and then they disqualified him.
They said, "Well, you're a joke, son."
So then the
joke's on you.
The player who was the 9th seed in the tournament got to play in the top 8 instead. But yeah,
oh
that's,
my lord, that poor guy.
The player, the 9th seed, was like, he even felt like the ruling was bogus. But I mean. Just that would set if they allowed him to play. It'd feel like, oh, look, you said you had 39 or whatever. You said you had this amount of energy, and you actually had this amount. Oh yeah, that first joke was just a joke.
I mean, there's no way they could let him get away with it, because, like you just said, if I at any point have a deck check that comes up and it's incorrect, all I can say then is, no, it's hard. That was one I submitted as a joke. This is the real one. My mistake. No, sorry, no. You're still gonna get dinged for it. They're still gonna make you trade out everything that you have that's not on the list for basic energies if you're lucky.
I think they should have just made him play the deck list. He submitted.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's...
And then put him on stream.
Put him on stream. There you go, kid. Enjoy. No, I think that's 100%. That's 100% the right ruling. That's the right ruling. I can't argue that one bit. That has to be the ruling that stands. That is the dumbest thing.
I know. I mean, to be fair, this guy probably didn't think he was making top 8.
No, but still, I mean... still, that seems awfully stupid. But, to each his own, whatever. I guarantee he never makes that mistake again.
Probably not. Lesson learned, right? How much money do you think he lost?
Top 8 usually gets paid out a purse, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the top 8 gets. I think. Oh, it's got to be. I think you get like 10K or something for winning.
Yeah, I guarantee it's probably around 1,000 at least. He probably it would have paid for his weekend.
Probably.
unless he flew in, then who knows? But
He probably flew in.
regardless,
I think most people flew in.
if that kid's not kicking himself in the butt right now, definitely a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the championship matches?
I haven't had an opportunity to yet. I had a very busy weekend, and then my plan was to watch them today, but then I had some foolishness go on at work, and I didn't get an opportunity to even get my laptop open.
Well, I definitely recommend watching the junior championship for VGC.
Is that the one that had the very wholesome moment where the kid's family kept running up and hugging?
Yes, yes.
That was awesome.
It is the cutest little girl ever. She can't be older than 9. Like, she won. She wins. She won against this, like, godly other junior. The kid, junior. The kid has 21 regional championships, and he's a junior.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, and she beat him.
That's great.
Her name's already known, but I don't usually pay too much attention to the juniors and seniors.
Honestly, no. See, honestly, I don't remember their names. I never remember their names.
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
But when I watch the streams, I so much prefer to watch the juniors. The seniors, they always look like they want to like murder each other, and the masters, they're trying to fast play as fast as they can, and they're going all over the place, and they're just obnoxious. The juniors, I enjoy watching. And I like sitting there because I can show my kids, look, you could be on stream too. Like at Worlds last year, we sat, right there, right in front of the table and watched the juniors championship, which was awesome. The kids loved it. And we like watching them on stream too. But yeah, I always enjoy the juniors matches, as odd as that sounds. I know.
So, on the TCG side of things, the top 8 decks were pretty diverse. I mean, it was like 4. I guess there was only 4 different decks in the top 8. But Mewtwo still reigns supreme.
Yeah, Mew is still at the top.
The whole championship. I liked the card, so I didn't want to say it was too OP when I was still playing, but I think it's safe to say that this card is extremely OP. When the deck we thought was going to win was the Zacian V deck, and it resists all Mew's attacks.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but no, Mew's still up there on top.
Still pulled through.
What about the VGC side?
VGC side, we're actually seeing a meta form, I believe, at this point. Most of the teams had the same 4 Pokemon and then 2 variants. It was Togekiss, Tyranitar, Excadrill, and Arcanine. Now, I mean, I'm not saying every team had those, but every team had like 2 or 3 of them. Like, those Pokemon are very present right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have a meta of some kind. So, and even even online, even seeing the people that you're playing against in the competitive ladders, those are the same 4 you're seeing pretty much over and over and over again. So I think you're right. That the meta is forming at this point. Sword and Shield's been out long enough. People have got a good feel for it. And now that we have an internationals under our belt for it, you're going to start seeing people replicating on a more regular basis. So the meta's here. 100%. The meta is here.
And we're even the meta's about to change, but unfortunately, I think one of the Pokemon that's added is going to be up there, probably replacing Arcanine.
Go on.
Incineroar is going to be allowed on, I think March 3rd is when VGC changes, and for the I'll just segue right into video game news here. Series 3 is going to start on March 1st, and the format for that is going to reflect the VGC format. So the Gmax Pokemon are now, they changed the Gmax Pokemon allowed, and the Pokemon that are now available through Pokemon Home are also available to play as well. So that means the Gen 7 starters, Incineroar mainly.
Yeah, Incineroar is definitely going to be back in a big way, because Incineroar was huge in Sun and Moon.
I don't think it's quite as bad now. It seems like other abilities than Intimidate are being favored, but with Intimidate and Fake Out and just the sheer power it hits with, I don't. I think Incineroar is going to be an extremely strong presence.
Yeah. Now, here's the question: people are not going to be able to bring in their Incineroar from Sun and Moon and play it. They're going to
Right.
need to breed it out in Sword and Shield, create a new one, which
Right.
isn't overly difficult. But are the same abilities going to be available?
Yes. All abilities that were available through breeding are available in uh
Sword and
Sun and
Shield.
Moon. And
Sword and Shield.
yeah. Oh yeah. In Sword and Shield. So as long as you have one with the Litten with the Intimidate ability, you can get an Incineroar with Intimidate.
Outstanding. And for those of us that don't, or yeah, for those of our listeners that don't play VGC, why don't you elaborate on the significance of Intimidate?
Intimidate drops the attack stat of a Pokemon when the Pokemon comes in the battle. So you send it in, it drops your opponent's attack stat by 1, which is a significant amount of damage. And in VGC, you do double battles, and Intimidate actually works on both opponents. So you drop both their attack stats down by 1. And then if you keep switching in and out with Intimidate, you keep dropping it down and down until their Pokemon is basically useless. So popular Pokemon that have it are Arcanine, Gyarados, and Scrafty. All have the Intimidate ability.
So
You see a lot of them.
yeah, and every time they switch out, oh, things get worse.
Right.
Okay. All right. What else you got for us next on we have anything else on the VGC side?
I was gonna read the list of new Gmax, or I'll just read the whole list of Gmax Pokemon aloud. That's Charizard, without Blaze, or with Blaze, not its hidden ability. Butterfree, Pikachu, Meowth, Kingler, Lapras, Eevee, Snorlax, Corviknight, Orbeetle, Dreadnought, Colossal, Flapple, Appleton, Sandaconda, Toxtricity, Centiskorch, Hatterene, Grimmsnarl, and Alchemy.
That's a heck of a list.
It's basically all of them.
He's reading, folks. You can see
Yeah,
him scanning side to side. He's wishing right now that he had taken these notes because he's realizing things and he's going back and trying to research them on the fly. And
it's just the only ones I'm noticing right now are Gengar and what's the big tall no the Dragon Steel type. I forget his name.
Dragon Steel type.
Yeah, the one that looks like a skyscraper.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
What's his name?
I didn't say I knew his name. I just said I knew who you were talking about.
Oh, it's Dialga.
Yeah.
It's Duraludon.
So almost all the Gmaxes will be in.
Right. These
And-
are all the ones that have received boosted raids.
Yes. This stands true to what we said, on our previous podcast. We look for these to be updated quarterly. Every time a new rule set comes out, which is quarterly, you're going to see additional VMAX being added to, or not VMAX, yeah, Gigantamax being added to the legal list for VGC. So after that, look for another one come June.
Probably June, and the update to that one will probably be the rest we have, as well as the
new
the
mythical
new ones we get in the well, we're gonna get some new Gigantamax forms in the DLC.
But the DLC doesn't come out until mid-June, doesn't it?
Um,
I believe it's the second or third week. I think it might be the second week in June. We're getting Isle of Armor.
yeah, we'll see.
So we'll see what happens. It'll give people 3 months to get them anyway before they add them into the VGC. So that probably makes the most sense. Some other stuff that's going on the video game side is, well, Pokemon Home is starting to ban people already. So if you were looking at all on the Pokemon website recently, you're going to see that there is a notice that pops up warning people that if you receive a message, it's communication error 500 detail code 992. The cause of this is You have Pokemon in your Pokemon Home data that have been manipulated, meaning hacked. You have hacked Pokemon, and they are trying to come up with a method to resolve the error, quote unquote, because it even has a disclaimer in there. Even if you obtain this Pokemon unintentionally, Pokemon created using manipulated game data cannot be used in Pokemon Home. Check back for frequently for updates. So if you have hacked Pokemon that you got through surprise trades or whatever, even back on the 3DS, you may be getting banned from Pokemon Home. Now, here's the thing. If they're able to detect that data at Pokemon Home, I guarantee there's an update coming that's going to be able to detect that data in Sword and Shield. And we had a thing that you were talking about earlier. We record the Codcast. It's all about fish, folks. The podcast, we film it and record it on Mondays at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. There was a scheduled downtime for basically all Pokemon games simultaneously, as there was some kind of back-end update going on. And I just figured that there was going to be some kind of update in regards to the new mythicals and stuff like that, but it could very well be updating to add cheat detection in.
Probably. And the update for Home is actually tomorrow.
Oh, so we do have a scheduled update for Home now?
Yep.
Okay.
It'll be inoperable. Oh, and the reason for this one is to fix the bug where the Pokemon that were hyper trained in Generation 6 games, where they had the hyper training.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I guess the bottle caps is also hyper training. So maybe if you bottle cap the Pokemon, it's not showing the stat. It's not showing those stats as 6 IV like it should.
Oh, it's showing the original stat.
Right.
Yeah.
So, they're gonna fix that, and they want you to put your Pokemon that are like that have that glitch. They want you to put them in Pokemon Home during the maintenance period.
Well, since I haven't heard that, they're not doing a very good job of disseminating that information, are they?
Right.
Oh well, I guess.
Easier for them, and you can. It'll probably still be fixable, but it's easier for them if you do it at that point.
Yeah, I'd imagine. It comes back to this whole thing with this. I think they honestly ought to just get rid of surprise trades at this point. I like it. I've received some really cool stuff right out of the gate with Sword and Shield. One of the first things I traded, I did a surprise trade. Huh?
Droopy?
No.
Did you get a Droopy? Oh, sorry.
No. Somebody traded me their Pikachu, their 6 IV Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
Droopy.
Yeah, you're right. I had like a 90% chance of being right with that guess.
No, I actually got a 6 IV Drippy from one of our followers. It just had the wrong ability, but he gave it to me. So,
Both abilities are actually good, so.
Yeah, but my point is, with those surprise trades, we know that people have been flooding the line, I don't know what you'd call it, with hacked Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have people that, especially kids, that are just, I'm going to throw this Pidgey into the old surprise trade. Oh, look, I got a Gyarados or something. And it ends up being hacked. And it's horrible because now they're going to receive a ban for something that's not their fault. Instead of banning that, just delete the dang thing. Go in and just, throw an X over it, say this one's ineligible. Done.
Best thing you can do is just waste the hacker's time and don't punish innocent players.
Yeah, I mean, just put a red X over it or something and have this Pokemon's ineligible for competitive play. Something.
No, yeah, that's completely fair.
Because it's not fair to people that had no intent or even knowledge that they have one. I mean, one of my favorite things to do is I don't like buying games new. I like buying them used. I'm cheap. And I love getting Pokemon games because nobody ever wipes their games before they trade them in.
Oh, no.
What?
Well, when I used to work at GameStop, I would just throw cartridges in my DS and throw them on my Pokemon bank.
Yeah, so did I.
how many of those Pokemon are hacked?
That's my point. I don't know. Now,
Oh no.
now, I'm guessing none because I moved every Pokemon I had from Pokemon Bank into Pokemon Home, and I loaded up Pokemon Home just before we went live tonight, and it loaded up just fine without the error message. So apparently none of them. There was a couple that I was really kind of questioning, but I wasn't gonna look at them too deep. But apparently none of them, or for some reason I'm just not getting the error. I don't know.
Hmm.
So, do you got anything else for us on the VGC side, Duck?
Nope.
No.
No, that was it.
Oh,
News
okay.
is pretty sparse.
Yeah, I mean everything was Oceania.
Yeah.
So, what else you got for us next on the old
Got
agenda?
some pretty crazy TCG cards. They're bringing back some fan favorites. Well, I don't know if they're fan favorites, but they were very popular cards. They're under the guise of a new name, but the first card I wanted to talk about was called Boss's Orders, and it's got a Giovanni on it. It's gonna be probably a rare. It's choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and switch it with their active Pokemon. It's Lysander.
Yeah, it is. That's
It's coming back.
Oh, jeez. And we don't have images of these cards yet, so you just have to envision them in your mind's eye, what you believe they'll look like. But yeah, Giovanni is the new Lysander. But it's called Boss's Orders, not Giovanni.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's just in the picture. That's I figured Lysander, they made Guzma to balance Lysander out. It ended up not really working, so then they took that kind of supporter away completely for a little bit. And now it's coming back just as powerful as before.
Yeah, Guzma was my your boy. You needed Guzma. But yeah, apparently now we got basically the Lysander is back, and we're in a suit. We're in a dark suit this time, not red.
We got Marnie being a slightly more punishing N, in my opinion. Well, I guess I don't know, and just the fact that you don't have a chance to draw the cards you put back in the deck with Marnie makes it a little rough.
It depends on how you look at it. I mean, maybe you didn't want any of those cards.
But you never go down to one card in your hand like you did with N, so I guess it's a toss up.
True.
The next card I wanted to talk about was Tool Scrapper. Discard 2 Pokemon tools from either player's Pokemon, which is Field Blower, right? Except
yeah,
you don't discard a stadium. So Field Blower could target tools or stadiums.
This only
targets tools. But yeah, so we're gonna see probably a huge downswing in people playing tool cards.
Or a lot more of them.
Yeah, I mean, it went either way. It was actually like a rotation in back in the day with Field Blower of how much tools people played.
Yeah.
Let's just hope they don't print another Garbodor.
Ugh.
Like the Trash Lanch one.
I know exactly what you. As soon as you said it, I knew it.
I just or the other one actually, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a Weezing with the same effect as the old Garbodor.
Yeah, that Trash and Lanch garbage can just garbage. But yeah, no, pun not, but whatever. I'll take it.
This one's probably the craziest. It's called Scoop Up Net. Put one of your Pokemon, excluding V or GX, into your hand. Discard all tools attached to that Pokemon. Which meant V and VMAX as well. So V, VMAX, and GXs can't go back to your hand. But that's basically a free pick up your Pokemon and put it back down if it has an ability that you can use twice in one turn like that. Or it's just heal it and put it back down, or remove it from the active position.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few different variations on that are gonna be extremely beneficial.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a basic deck, or a deck with basic Pokemon that has like big HP for as far as a basic like a baby Pokemon, and you pick it up and you just keep rotating it all around. It's going to be dumb.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a staple card real quick.
I can't like normally this kind of effect is you're required to do it's either a supporter or you're required to do a coin flip. It's just a free one. This is nuts.
Yeah, that's going to become a staple immediately.
Yeah.
What else you got?
They're starting to do the type specific special energy again. We saw those in the beginning of the X and Y days. They had like a burning energy, which when you discard it from an attack, like an attack says discard 2 fire energy, you don't actually have to discard that energy. You can keep it on and only discard 1. And then there was like the lightning energy. So if it was attached to an electric type Pokemon, it took away the electric Pokemon's weakness, kind of thing. So now we're getting the speed lightning energy, which it provides lightning energy. And when you attach it from your hand to an electric type Pokemon, you draw 2 cards. Which is
interesting.
It's kind of similar to the kind of energy you had in the Diamond and Pearl days where you couldn't play a supporter on turn 1. There were energies where you attach them and search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them in your hand. It's just a small little, if you get it on turn 1, great. It's kind of like a supporter effect.
Okay.
The other energy they put in the next set is called Horror Psychic Energy. Now these names might change because it's just the Japanese translations. But when the psychic Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon and is damaged by your opponent's attack, put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So basically, if it's on your Pokemon, your opponent attacks you, they take 2 damage. If you have 2 attached, they take 4 damage. So on and 4 up to like 80 damage per attack they do to your Pokemon.
It's pretty insane. Pretty insane.
Now, one thing to note about these energy is that they're considered colorless until they're attached. So, like, you wouldn't be able to, like, say Malamar says take a psychic energy out. You can't take this energy out because it's not actually a psychic energy while it's in your discard pile.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's a colorless energy, and when it's attached to a Pokemon, it is considered a psychic energy.
Like Rainbow.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Outstanding.
So if it says discard a psychic energy, you can count that as discarding it, but you only when it's on the Pokemon. When it's in your hand, in your deck, or in the discard, it is considered a colorless energy.
Huh.
And I've got one more card to talk about. It was just revealed yesterday. It's called Nugget.
Nugget!
Yeah. This card might be crazy. I mean, there's a little bit of translation that needs to be fixed before I know exactly what it does. But it says, play this card when you draw it from your deck at the start of your turn. Draw it. Okay, so that's what you have to do to play it. Is draw 3 cards. And it's an item card.
So it only activates if you draw it at the beginning of your turn.
I guess, yeah. Okay, so I guess it's not as convoluted, as confusing as I thought.
But
yeah, if you draw, it looks like, based on this translation, it looks like if you draw it during your 7 at the beginning of the game, you don't get to draw the extra cards. It's just a dead card in your hand.
So
and if you were to like draw it off of a welder or a
just a dead card.
Yeah, or a heat factory, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't
draw it off of a supporter.
I don't think I'd ever play that card.
Yeah, now it seems more like that Clover card where if you get it as a prize card, you get to take another prize. Nobody played that.
Yeah, it seems like it's very this might work or it might screw you completely.
Yeah, it seemed a lot better when I read it earlier. Never mind. Nuggets.
Never mind. Nuggets sucks.
But if they don't print this card as a gold card
with a big gold nugget.
Yeah.
With a big old gold nugget. Yeah, that'd be I think it's a missed opportunity if they don't too.
Right. So that's it for TCG.
That is it for TCG, and I think that's going to take us into products, not masters, not nothing, but product.
I mean, Masters has had a few sync pairs, but no like bigger events going on right now. I did want to touch on Pokemon Go real quick. I forgot to put that in. Um, we talked about the Pokemon Day, all the party hat Pokemon and stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
they said the party hat starters, Kanto starters, would only be available in uh, seven 7K eggs. They're actually going to be available in 1-star raids as well.
Sweet.
Yeah, so they updated the Pokemon Go info or the Pokemon Day info, so that's
It's funny. I haven't played it in a while, like really since I moved across the country, because there ain't squat here. But I went ahead and downloaded it. Well, on my my issued phone.
yeah.
And I was actually playing it today because there is a Pokestop that I can get when I'm in certain meetings, and it was a Go Rocket stop today, so I actually did one of those. And uh, one thing that's cool, they updated the UA a little bit, and it used to be when you'd hit the Pokeball icon, you got three different options. It was Pokemon Shop and items. Now they've actually updated it so you have the Pokedex and you can go straight into your battles from the main menu as opposed to going in through your profile and doing it that way. So I thought it was kind of a neat little update. It may have happened a long time ago and I just didn't know it. But if you're like me, you haven't played for a while, they did make a couple little updates, and it seems to be moving a lot faster too. Uh, so if you haven't played in a while, maybe give it a little bit of a look see back and get in some Pokemon Go action, because we know that sometime around in the summertime that they're going to integrate Pokemon Go into Pokemon Home, so you'll be able to start importing those Pokemon as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. So I got like 800 Pokemon I can upload.
Jeez.
So that's it for all the games. Now we just moved into the stuff you can go buy in the store that Duck can put on his wall behind him.
Yep. Well, I don't know anymore. I was trying to collect all the Pokemon Funkos, but they keep releasing more. Like, and it's not just so. The way the starters came out, it was like, first you get Bulbasaur, then like 3 months later you get Charmander, and 3 months later you get Squirtle. So it was like quarterly releases. That was awesome. I can buy one a quarter. But they revealed 4 a couple weeks ago. They said they're adding it was Mewtwo, Mr. Mime, Pichu, and Vulpix. I'm like, dang, 4 at once? I don't really think I'm gonna.
Also, odd ones too.
Right? I can see Mewtwo.
Mewtwo, yeah.
Mr. Mime's weird.
That's weird. And Pichu's, kinda. Okay, and Vulpix. I mean, that's an easy one to make, I would assume.
Yeah. Well, I'm like 4 coming out at the same time. That's rough. I'm not. I'll just, maybe I'll pick them up when I see them and I have some extra money. But if I'm not getting them when they release, I'm not confident in collecting them, and that's fine. I accepted that. Now they just revealed 4 more coming out, and it's Angry Face Pikachu, Cubone, Rattata, and Growlithe.
Who the hell wants a Rattata?
I don't know. Joey does. Joey wants a Rattata.
Nobody wants a Rattata.
Youngster Joey wants a Rattata. It's in the top percentage of Rattata.
Nobody wants a Rattata.
There's something popping up on your screen.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know what you're talking about.
I keep the outline over your image, or I just basically see the chat, but I keep seeing flashes of something.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I just wanted to update people on the Funko Pop situation. I thought maybe
it's a situation now. It's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's a situation. It's not even
a situation. It's really hard to collect things when they come out so fast.
I don't get enough money. Slow down.
Yeah. I also heard from a guy. He said there's a lot of Pokemon Funko stuff coming up in the pre-orders, and I don't know. This guy doesn't really have a lot of credibility. Just an employee at a GameStop, and he told me that he thinks they're going to try to do the original 150. Which would be an awesome wall.
No, it wouldn't. No, you know what that is? That is a colossal waste of money.
Would it be?
Get a poster. Get a poster.
They're doing Pichu as well, so that's not in there in the 150.
Well, I don't believe anybody from GameStop because they all think they have stable employment.
Yeah, fair enough.
End of the year, guaranteed.
Yeah, the guy I was talking to is actually the guy that took the job I refused.
Good move. Good move. Oh, geez. So I think that pretty much wraps up our little world of Pokemon for this week.
Yep.
Yep.
It does.
So just a recap. Tord tarnished himself a little bit.
Right. Nobody will ever know for sure. You can just get all the information you have and form your own opinion.
Yeah, and we encourage everybody and look on my social media. I'm sure I'll post the video of the actual event that occurred. We were showing it repeatedly during the podcast on our live stream, but for those of you that are listening in our audio form on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, any place else that happens to be picking up our RSS feed, because they seem to be doing it quite a bit. People, apparently we're just so popular, people got to have us on their platform. If you go on my social media, such as Facebook or Twitter, probably post on Facebook. It's a bit more forgiving on those kinds of videos. It's _Razgrees01. You can also look for Duck on Twitter, which he never tweets anyway, but maybe he'll start. Especially if he starts getting followers, then he'll be like, I gotta tweet. I gotta get my tweet on. So it's at Blue Duck Gold Duck. That's Blue Duck Gold Duck without the E. And he's buying up games, folks. He's buying all these games up. He's obsessed with Minecraft right now. And hopefully, in the very near future, maybe on Easter, since he didn't get one for Valentine's Day, maybe somebody will get him a capture card. Just saying. and we can get him back on stream again. Or we can convince him to play some old school Pokemon, because he was talking about playing some old school stuff to transfer into Pokemon Home, but...
That may be a thing. We'll see.
That may be a thing. So look forward to our... If you go on YouTube, just look for the Mount Moon Crew. We have a new show premiering this week for all those illustrious otaku out there that are lovers of anime. And we are going to be reviewing our first series. So look forward to that. And we'll post more information on our social media once the videos are all up and we're happy with them. And other than that, Duck, do you have anything else you want to convey to the tens and tens of listeners here of the Mount Moon Review podcast?
No, you pretty much said it all.
Yes, I do tend to. It's kind of my job. You bring all the Pokemon information. I bring the expertise and charisma and award-winning personality.
You can call it that.
I just did. Were you not listening?
I was listening.
Okay. So that being said, folks, enjoy your week. Duck, get us out of here.
All right, guys. Until next time, just remember, if it's too good to be blue, it's probably gold.
Have a week.
Just because your card is magic, you think you're safe because you killed my life. 'Cause I'm coming at you like a dark pulse. I know you're gonna throw. You're gonna throw a storm. But I got that lucky chance. There's no critical hits.